Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/AckleyAttack427TheThomasFan1 to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Hey guys, this is AckleyAttack4427 here, and welcome to another episode of WTPU, aka What the Pickup? Now, as you may recall, in the last episode of the show, which you can see right down over here, I talked about the Tommy Play Rail automatic turnout track, or I guess in this case, the auto track switch, as you can see here. That was actually given to me by pretty much my longtime friend and fellow collaborator, Trainboy54, as a really nice Valentine's Day gift I got from him, to which, yeah, I think it was actually really nice of him to actually do that, and well, I am really impressed with how well this actually turned out, for sure. I really do think it really turned out marvelous, I'm not gonna lie, and yeah, I guess it has been a while since I've talked about a little something from PlayRail for sure, and for this to be the one that I would finally get in my hands, I say it was well worth it on my part, so yeah, I guess either way, I am really glad on how well this actually turned out for sure, and truly I think one that's worthy enough to go alongside most of the other Tommy track that I currently have for like years and years, which all they're doing right now is just collecting dust and nothing much else from I assume. But hey, regardless on that, I'm still glad on how well it turned out, and yeah, really actually came out as great as I hoped it would be for sure, so yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. If you want to check that episode out for yourself, then don't worry about a thing. There's a card over there over at the top right corner of the screen, as well as, of course, the link to it down the description box below, so yeah, whichever you prefer, go right ahead, I'll wait till you come back. Yeah, take all the time you need. I'll be here by the time you come back for sure, so yeah, I'm just gonna be here sitting in my chair right up until you come back for sure, so yeah, at least that's what I can say on that front for sure, so yeah. Yeah, I guess it was quite nice of my friend to send me the hag for sure. It really came out quite great, I'm not gonna lie, and it is actually quite nice, and oh yeah, I think I should mention right now, I think from the looks of it, pretty much my bandage is off from my thumb, which means, yeah, I guess it looks like the cut I suffered pretty much some time ago. Yeah, I think it looks like it actually healed up as we speak, so yeah, good as new as I expected, so yeah. But hey, at least I learned a very important lesson. Be very careful when trying to peel the skin off of a butternut squash. At least that's what I can say on that front. So yeah. No, for next time for sure. Alright, I guess seeing how you did already see the last episode of this show, we might as well go ahead and start up this episode as we normally do. Well, it looks like for today's episode, oh boy, I guess pretty much of anything, I have some good news for all of you. I think it's time that we make our way back to, of course, to the Bachmann, Thomas and Friends range for sure, and yeah, I do know pretty much you always look forward to me talking about a little something from the Bachmann, Thomas and Friends range, as it is probably the one thing that I really do love and admire for sure. So yeah, and believe it or not, for the model that we're going to be talking about for today's episode, boy, I will have to say this is actually the one that I know a lot of you are waiting for me to actually talk about for sure. Trust me when I say I know I am hands down. So yeah. I know, I think I've been anticipating to talk about this one for years, and years, and years, and years, and years, and fucking years, and yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, what is it I'm gonna be talking about, you may ask? Well, I'll pull it up right now. So yeah, what I got right here is, of course, pretty much another Bachmann Thomas model that I finally got in my hands right now, and yes, by the way, looks like we finally got one on Duck, the Great Western Engine. So yeah, I guess it's been a long time coming to actually talk about this one for sure. And boy, I think after so many years of waiting, it looks like we finally got him right here in my hands for sure. And yeah, all that sort of stuff from what I can gather for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, I guess either way, now that it's finally in my hands for sure, man, I've been waiting to talk about this one on this show for quite a long time now for sure. So yeah, and it looks like this time is now for sure. So yeah, let's not waste any more time and let's dive right into this one. Alright guys, it looks like we have finally got pretty much the Bachmann version of Duck the Great Western Engine right here in front of us, and yeah, you would not believe on how excited I am to talk about this particular model for sure, because yeah, I gotta level with you guys on one thing from what I can gather for sure. So yeah, I guess it is no big surprise that I've always loved collecting pretty much almost everything revolving around the Bachmann, Thomas and Friends range for sure. And yeah, over the years, I've actually gotten some really great models. Yeah, hands down for sure. Even some ones that I've actually missed out on that I picked up in recent years for sure that I really do love and admire for sure. So yeah, and I guess pretty much of anything, there are several models that are released out there for sure that have actually came out pretty much years ago, but I sadly missed out on due to some other models that came out pretty much as well for sure. And surprisingly enough, Duck the Great Western Engine, or I guess in this case Duck, is definitely one of them, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I guess it's been a long time coming, hands down for sure, because, well, if you may recall, some time ago, I do have Duck the Great Western Engine, but it's actually pretty much on the one that's made by Hornby for sure. So yeah, and for while I still do love and admire that said model that I still currently have even to this day, I've been meaning to pick up the Bachmann version for quite a long time now for sure, and well, luckily enough, just very recently, thanks to pretty much some help in order to get some things pretty much revolving around the payment options taken care of, I managed to score this one that I found on eBay for sure to really get ourselves in for what we're going to be in for sure. So yeah. That's pretty much exactly what happened. I did manage to find this, and I ordered it on eBay for sure, alongside another Thomas model that I also ordered around the same time for sure, that I know I will definitely cover in a future episode later on down the road, but I'm not going to spoil the surprise for sure. You're just going to have to see for yourself, hands down. So yeah, but for now, I want to keep my focus mainly on Duck for the time being to see how it goes, and yeah, I think for my first impressions, judging by the packaging from what I can gather, this actually looks really great for sure. Yeah, much like pretty much some of the past models that we've actually talked about, all it has is, of course, pretty much the model itself and its packaging for sure. That yeah, I think I will have to say from the looks of it, it actually looks wonderful. Just from the side and, of course, the front and the back. Yeah, I can tell that pretty much of anything. That I know, hands down, this is definitely the Duck the Great Western engine that we know in the TV show for sure, and yeah, I really do think it is actually quite amazing for sure. And oh yeah, one other thing I need to bring up, hands down, to which, if you couldn't tell, pretty much from the packaging alone for sure, in case a lot of you guys are wondering, yes, I will say right now, I actually got myself pretty much the Bachmann Duck that, of course, Bachmann Trains has been making for a long time. But, of course, the one that I got is, of course, released from the Bachmann Thomas & Friends range that's currently available in the UK. So yeah, it is the same exact brand, hands down for sure, but I did manage to get it from a different country, which is actually quite nice, and I'm not gonna lie, from, of course, the packaging alone, I really do think this actually looks amazing for sure, to which, yeah, I think pretty much of anything, yeah, I can tell, I think it does have pretty much most of the stuff that we currently have, like the packaging in the US for sure. Like, of course, you got the Thomas & Friends logo, and, of course, Thomas, pretty much in addition to that. But, of course, I will give them credit that they actually putting a nice, pretty much background of course, a really, really large, of course, the countryside for sure, to which, yeah, I will have to say, that's actually really clever from what I can gather for sure. I really do think, yeah, it really is actually quite nice, hands down for sure. So yeah, and truth be told, I think, don't get me wrong, I do love the packaging that we got for the Bachmann Thomas models here in the US for sure. I really do think they are actually quite good. But I guess upon looking it over, now that I got this model very recently, I definitely do think the UK version actually fared up much better, in my opinion, hands down for sure. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that's just my personal opinion, hands down for sure. So yeah, but regardless on that, I really do think it is actually quite amazing for sure, and yeah, even though it is pretty much from a different country, hands down, we do know it is still Bachmann, I'm not gonna lie, yeah. So yeah, I guess if anything, I will give Bachmann credit for really stepping up to get the Thomas & Friends range released in the UK, since after Hornby discontinued their Thomas & Friends range years ago for sure, but I digress. So yeah, literally from what I'm actually seeing from the front of the packaging, this actually looks really great, hands down for sure. And going alongside on the back, yeah, that too alone is also actually done really nice for sure. Like of course, we do get this nice picture of Duck showcasing that his eyes move side to side, which is the one thing I really do love about the Bachmann Thomas models, and having the moving eyes. So yeah, that is something I really do love and admire for sure, and that is something that cannot be taken away anytime soon. So yeah, and of course alongside the back is of course a few of the pictures of some of the other models that you would actually get. Like of course we got Thomas, Percy, James, Gordon, Henry, and of course Daisy for sure. And alongside one of the non-rail vehicles, which is on Terrence the Tractor, and of course two of course the Rolling Stock, which is of course the Sordor Fruit and Vegetable Company van, and of course Scruffy for sure. So yeah, and of course, is of course a whole list of course, pretty much some of the other models that you actually can get for sure, with the top part being the engines, and the other, and the bottom part being the rolling stock for sure, to which, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I really do think it's very well organized for sure, hands down. I really do think that is actually really quite nice. So yeah, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I do like the packaging that we actually get for the Thomas & Friends range here in the U.S. That Bachmann Trains has been releasing for sure. But again, I really do think the U.K. version of the packaging for this actually fared up much better in my opinion. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, based on my first impressions alone, I really do dig on what Bachmann Trains has actually rolled up for, of course, Duck for sure. And I'm really excited to see on what we're going to be in for, hands down for sure. So yeah, with that being said, now that we got that out of the way, I think it's time to get this thing opened up for sure. And with my trusty pair of scissors, we're going to do exactly that. So yeah, we might as well get right to it. So yeah, here we go. Alrighty then, well, yeah, I guess it took me some time for sure, but yeah, looks like we finally got the Bachmann duck out of its packaging for sure, and yeah, I think with what I'm actually seeing, pretty much seeing with this up close and personal, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I think it looks like Duck actually looks marvelous from what I can gather for sure. Yeah, I can tell. I think pretty much from what I'm actually seeing right now, this looks really incredibly well done for sure. Yeah, I really do dig, of course, pretty much what I'm actually seeing with, of course, this model for sure. Yeah, I think pretty much if anything, the face is actually really accurate for sure, and even the body and the paintwork and the detailing and stuff really does match very well in my opinion. So yeah, I think given to what I'm actually seeing by far, yeah, I can tell Bachmann really want to make this model the best that he can for sure, and yeah, with of course what I'm actually seeing, they really did accomplish that quite well for sure. I really do think that is actually what I actually think of, what I actually do think of Duck the Great Western Engine for sure. So yeah, they really want to make it look as great as the character himself in the original TV show for sure, and yeah, with what I'm actually seeing by far, it really is actually quite amazing from what I can gather for sure. So yeah, I think given to all that from what I've actually seen, yeah, I think I really don't have anything else to say from what I can gather. I really do think Duck pretty much really does look great, pretty much for, of course, a nice Bachmann Thomas model for sure, and it is definitely the one thing that I know I can definitely think of for sure, and yeah, I know it's been a long time coming. I know I'm about 13 years too late to jump on board to talk about this one since after he came out for sure, but hey, as the old saying goes, better late than never for sure. So yeah, I guess with what I'm seeing based on first glance alone, I really do think they really did a bang-up job with, of course, Duck from what I'm actually seeing. but how does it compare to the Hornby version I currently have? Well, let's bring him on down and see for ourselves. Alrighty then, well, I guess it looks like pretty much it took me a little bit of time, but yeah, looks like I did manage to get my Hornby duck out and about, pretty much just to see how it compares to the Bachmann version, hands down, and honestly, I think from what I'm actually seeing by far, yeah, I guess pretty much from what I'm actually seeing, both these models still look great from what I'm actually seeing, and yeah, I think with what I'm actually seeing by far, I do know hands down for sure is that, well, what we do know pretty much from what I could gather, the green paintwork and the detailing being put into a duck with, of course, GWR and the number 8 for sure. Yeah, I think, pretty much of anything, I guess pretty much from what I can gather, pretty much the lettering and the numbering on, of course, the Hornby version is way different from, of course, the Bachmann version, hands down, and of course, I do know the faces are actually completely different, hands down, for sure, to which, honestly, I really do think is still actually pretty much quite nice. Like, of course, pretty much the Hornby version of duck pretty much has a more dark gray color for sure. While, of course, the Bachmann version is a little bit more brighter, hands down, with a more light gray for sure, to which, honestly, I think that's probably, the signature color they went for all the faces for all the engines, to which, again, wanted to help match, of course, on how they look in the TV show, to which is actually still quite nice for sure, and yeah. And, of course, the one thing I can say are actually quite similar to, of course, these two models for sure is that they are actually probably the same length from what I can gather for sure, to which, honestly, I think is probably the best way I can actually describe it, hands down. So yeah, I think in comparison between those two for sure, I really do feel that all the way, they're still both great models, in my opinion, but I guess it looks like pretty much the Bachmann version definitely took a little bit more advantages than the Hornby version, hands down. So yeah, but still, regardless, I still love both these models for sure, and yeah, again, they really wanted to go for something a little different for sure. Like, of course, we do know, aside from the Bachmann version wanting to look like the character himself from the TV show, the Hornby version wanting to make him look like his engine counterparts for sure, to which, yeah, I really do think is actually still quite clever for sure. So yeah, either way, like I said, they're both great models, but I guess in terms of which ones are actually much better for sure, that's actually a very hard debate, I'm not gonna lie, because, well, yeah, like I said, they're both great models for sure, but I'm sure I'll leave it up to you to decide, of course, that one. Would you definitely prefer the Hornby version as it was the way that it was meant to be pretty much be made for sure? Or do you think the Bachmann version did a much better job in capturing Duck from the original TV show for sure? So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll leave it all up to you guys to decide on that one. So yeah, and I will give myself credit. I think the way I actually have these two side by side, yeah, with them looking at each other, pretty much from what I can gather. Honestly, I think it's quite clever from what I can gather. I think it's almost like both these versions of pretty much Duck are actually having a conversation with one another, almost kind of like, oh, hello, other me, how you looking? Actually pretty great, yeah, which, by the way, don't you know that we might have some similar features to one another? Oh, really? I didn't notice. But yeah, you kind of get the idea, of course, that front for sure. So yeah, I guess either way, pretty much from what I can gather, I think it's probably the best way I can actually put it. But now that would lead to the ultimate question, how will the Bachmann version of Duck run well on my layout for sure? Will it actually pretty much work the same way as the Hornby version? Hands down that despite it being a 00 gauge in the UK, it can still work on pretty much a set of Bachmann HO Easy Track made here in the US? Well, I guess there's only one way to find out. Not sure on how it's going to go or not for sure, but let's hang up to my layout and find out for ourselves. Alright guys, here we are back up once again, of course, on my layout for sure, to which, yeah, I guess giving for the fact that we're going to be giving my Bachmann Duck a massive test run, I do have one of my Bachmann speed controllers plugged in, so that way it's all set and ready to go for sure, and yeah, I guess with, of course, what I'm actually seeing right here, I'm looking forward to seeing on how Duck is going to perform, of course, my layout for sure, because, yeah, as established earlier, yeah, even though it's pretty much released in the UK, so it can only pretty much perform on 00 gauge track for sure. Well, I think if you have a recall for some of the Hornby models that I talked about previously, they actually can work quite well on, of course, on an HO train track for sure. So I guess it is pretty much what we're going to be expecting for sure. So I guess if that being the case for that, I'm pretty sure that my Bachmann Duck that came all the way from the UK might fare up the same way, I'm not gonna lie, so yeah, but that's at least what I'm hoping for, hands down for sure, but hey, regardless of course of that front, yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing on how it's gonna fare up pretty much once we actually give it a good run for sure, and that's exactly what we're gonna do for sure. So yeah, I guess either way, with everything all set and ready to go for sure, I'm quite excited to see on how we're gonna pretty much see how Duck actually fares up on my layout for sure. So yeah, with that being said, let's not waste any more time, man. Let's get this thing going right about. Oh yeah, I think I should mention if things go wrong, I can actually give Duck a bit of a bump in order to get him moving. But I'm pretty sure we'll wait and see what happens. So yeah, let's get this thing moving right about now. Alright, well, I guess it's after a few laps around the layout for sure. My god, yeah, this actually, yeah, looks like this model actually ran perfectly well on my layout for sure, so yeah, I guess it is pretty much what I would expect, hands down, and boy, I really do think he actually did deliver on that quite well, so yeah, I might as well move him back a bit, so yeah, I guess that'll do, so yeah, I guess pretty much of anything from what I can gather, it looks like my Bachmann Duck that I actually got ran perfectly well, of course, my layout for sure, and yeah, I'm impressed with of course how it actually turned out, So yeah, and I guess on that thought alone, I think it's a good way to pretty much wrap it up from there for sure. So yeah, I guess overall, pretty much the Bachmann version of Duck the Great Western Engine, I really do think it is a very marvelous model from what I can gather, and certainly a really great addition to the Bachmann Thomas and Friends range for sure. They really did a bang-up job from what I can gather to really capture the character perfectly to, of course, on how he looks in the TV show, and they really did accomplish that quite well from what I've actually seen for sure. So yeah, I think with what I've actually seen by far, I really do think this is one model that I really can't get enough of, hands down for sure. And again, much like with what I talked about earlier with Rebecca, I really do think this might actually be one of the best of the Thomas models that we actually got in the Bachmann Thomas and Friends range for sure. So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, give it to that thought alone. Yeah, I do highly recommend this model for sure. I really do think it's actually well worth purchasing, hands down for sure, if you can actually find it. For pretty much from what I can gather for sure, but I really do think it is actually really well worth it, in my opinion, for sure. So yeah, and like I said, as of now, I did manage to get this, that was sent over to me over in the UK for sure, so yeah, but that's at least what I can say on that front. But regardless on that, I really do think it's still well worth the purchase on my part. But of course, oh yeah, I think mind if I tilt it down for a second? But of course, that will lead to the ultimate question. Now that I actually got pretty much the Bachmann version of Duck, what am I going to do with the Horby version that I currently have? Well, surprisingly enough, I guess seeing how pretty much I've been eyeing more on Bachmann pretty much in recent years for sure, while still diving into a Hornby for sure. I know a lot of you guys are wondering if I'm going to sell my Hornby version of Duck and stick with the Bachmann version hands down. Well, honestly, no. That's pretty much not something I would do for sure. So if that being the case, what should I do instead of course, selling the Hornby version and selling with the Bachmann version? Well, the answer is actually quite simple. I'll actually keep both brands for sure. So yeah, much like with what I actually did with the Gordon's Express coaches for sure, where I actually did get the Horby version, so while still having the Bachmann versions hands down, rather than selling the latter to stick with the former for sure, I'm actually going to keep both brands for sure, so that way I can not only go back and forth between the two, but also have a little something in comparison hands down for sure, to which, honestly, I really do think that is the best way I can actually go for hands down, and yeah, that's pretty much my intention, pretty much in the first place, so I'm pretty much gonna stick with that hands down, so yeah, at least that's all I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, don't worry about a thing, guys. I am still going to keep the Horby version of Duck, while I still put the Bachmann version to good use, hands down. Sort of like most of the other models that I actually got pretty much beforehand for sure. So yeah. So yeah, I hope all of you guys understand that for sure. So yeah, and I guess on that thought alone, I think that's a great way to end this episode here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest episode, and by all means, let me know down in the comments down below on what you guys think of this one for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest episode, and man, feels good to finally talk about this model for sure, and I'm glad that I actually did hands down. So yeah. And of course, you might be wondering if I'm going to dive into any of these models next. What am I going to talk about in the next episode of course, this show? Well, that's hard to say hands down because I really don't know when I'll actually pretty much I'll do another episode, nor even pretty much think about what I'll talk about next for sure. But I can say, speaking about what I said about Hornby for sure, believe it or not, I think it's not just this I actually ordered some time ago. I think sticking with, of course, the Horby version of the Thomas and Friends range. Well, I think pretty much of anything for of course, the next Horby model I'll talk about for sure. I think pretty much I think it would actually involve one of the rolling stocks that is certainly old but not slow about a coach. And yeah, based on that hit alone, looks like pretty much sometime later, I'm going to be talking about Hornby's, another one of the Hornby Thomas models that I'm going to be getting for sure, particularly on one of the rolling stocks, and probably one of the underrated characters, hands down for sure, which is Old Slow Coach. So yeah, I really can't wait to actually talk about how that's a model for sure, as it's currently on its way here right now for sure. So yeah, I'll be sure to let you guys know for when I'll actually talk about that one later on down the road. But until that happens, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.
Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD and Sam Shepard. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/AckleyTackTV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is AckleyTack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyTackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.